I don't know how you guys fix your Silverado. This was the Fix Your Silverado initial video. I got some others to upload from some other trucks. She's not wiped out yet totally underneath the hood. The fender's not replaced because we had so much to do making sure the bolts. We went over every nut and bolt once it was running, and it's running right. It runs with a little bit of a lope. You got a pulling cam in it, but it runs nice and it growls like a damn tiger. So my efforts were worth it, and my diagnosis was correct. The bottom end is sound. It actually has a purr and a growl to it. You step on it, it growls. At idle, it has a little bit of a lope and a purr to it. And we're going to go over the valves once we get, I get about 1,600 miles, and I'll take the valve covers back off, and I'll make sure the valves are set where I want them. They either go the other way. They either loosen up, or one of them ends up a little too tight once the lifters come up. You got to put 500 to 1,000 miles, 1,500 like I do, because I'm going to just drive this maybe for firewood or something, use it a couple times. It's not going to harm it 1,500 miles. Any longer, yeah, you might do some damage to the cam or something like that, but that's the tip. Another tip that the old school doesn't tell you in those videos. They show you everything and, you know, all pretty colors and new parts and speed stuff. They never really tell you the truth. Hey, go over, especially your exhaust manifold. I replaced the bolts on the exhaust manifold with stainless, simply because, okay, that stainless is very important. It does not rust, it does not corrode, and with a little bit of God and luck in those lock washers, they stay in there for a long time. Basically, the bolts, even the manifold bolts, I replaced what I could for what I had the hardware. I had quite a bit, but I went through it, so I got to go through my inventory. You're going to spend a couple dollars on a project like this. I had to put wire connectors here. Even the one in back of the alternator, it broke off, it stripped off, and I have to take it and have the timing set. But we still have this to deal with, and we still have this crummy ass fender. And when you put your AC back together, especially with this cheap shit coming from China, like this condenser, they charged me 3 times what it was worth and gave me 10% off. I put anti-seize on a lot of stuff because of how cheap it's made, so you can get it apart. And especially if you find out when you got it, it's not right, or something's not quite right, and you got to take it back and you can't get it apart and you got to half destroy it, then they don't want to give you your money back. Beat them at their own game. Anti-seize is your friend. So on how to fix your Silverado, this is how this one turned out. It's a 454 truck restored back to health. It really does run nice. I'm really pleased with my work. Probably hear it in my voice. It's like, thank freaking Christ it's over. But it's not. It's only the beginning of cleaning the truck up and repairing this body, which, like I said, that'll happen next year. I'm going to go out to the salvage yard and do my spy work in between my other endeavors. And I got to get this sewer line project back under the road. After getting screwed so much up there in that Lake Harmony, I hope people listen to us contractors and stuff. You know what? You're going to do a roof, get paid up front, or don't do it at all. That's my advice to you, especially here in Pennsylvania, because the law does not favor you. Like I said, the laws are tailored for the courts to make money and profit. They're not tailored for families to pay their bills. It's unfortunate, and I hope they start taking these legislators and giving them the boot right out of town. I hope they start reducing their salaries and make them, you know, work for what we work for, which is basically peanuts. You work like a dog, get paid like a goddamn elephant, and that's not fair. So after that, we're going to make another video of how we progressed with this poor thing. Like I said, it's really been abused. We got the hood latch fixed. They got a lot of stuff fixed on it. I mean, a lot of the stuff you can't see, and I just tell you, you're going to spend more than you anticipate, like anything else. I recently took a truck to the garage. I was going to have them change a goddamn sensor, and like this one, the hose in the back, the hose fitting broke off, and that was another $500 bill. So don't let them cry to you when you're a contractor and, you know, you find something and it's broken and, oh, you know, just cover it up. Don't do it. It's your license that's at stake. It's your insurance. Somebody else finds it, or code inspector, you're never going to work there again. Just be honest with yourself. Just like I took it out to Jack Williams. I can't tell Tony I'm not going to pay him for it. You know what I mean? I was too lazy to do it because I was engrossed in this project, and it comes back, and I mean, it's fixed, it's right. What am I going to tell him? I'm not going to pay him? So on how to fix your Silverado, the other thing is, I may sound like Superman, but I can't do everything myself. I was so how could I say, I was so immersed in this project and trying to get this engine running right. It was out of time, actually. It did fire right up, but I had to set the wires ahead and everything, and that's one of the hinks and kinks of these engines. They sort of have a sweet spot where they run, and I found this one. Like I said, this bitch really growls. I mean, she has a nice growl to her now and everything, almost like my dually. But I'll show you how she turns out in my next video. We'll start maybe doing some repairs. We have actuators under the dashboard. There's a lot of videos about them. I'm going to go to the junkyard, and I'm going to give you guys the advice before you go do anything. There's a lot of trucks with that stuff already replaced in the junkyard. These trucks are going on 25 years old, and you'll find a lot of those parts in the salvage yard if you're not too lazy to work at it. Just be determined that you're going to take a Saturday afternoon, and it's going to be completely dark till you get your tools in the house. But that keeps you from ruining your interior and the rest of the truck, because you know how it comes apart with the donor truck. So that's one of my secrets, is I go to the junkyard and I take it apart first before I take my truck apart and screw shit up. And a lot of times I come home with better body panels or maybe a better dash or something. I try to preserve it. I try to take the donor truck apart very carefully too, because you never know what you're going to need out of that. I got another bug trying to eat me. I gotta get this thing off my back and my neck. So, all right, that's it for this one, and that's how it turned out. Turned out fairly decent. Thanks.